Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Yes, we know he is now president. Yes, we know he now has rescinded 78 Biden era executive actions, orders, and memoranda. And when it comes to Trump, there are certain things I don't agree with and certain things that I do agree with. But who am I? I'm just a guy from Chicago. But anyways, let's talk about this. So listen to this video. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with this. Trump has made this an official policy of the U.S. government.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So obviously, as a Christian, this is one of those things I do agree with, not because the Bible backs it up, or not only because the Bible backs it up. Genesis 1, God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. From the very beginning, there has always only been two genders, male and female. But even from a scientific standpoint, there are only male and female genitalia. That's male and female reproductive organs. There is a reason to your anatomy. There's a reason why you are who you are and you have what you have. Your reproductive organs serve a purpose, even if for some reason, you cannot fertilize, or there's some issues with fertilization. The mold of those male and female productive organs serve a purpose. And the purpose is for math. Yes, multiplication. This is science. Not only Bible, but science and math as well. Anyways, whether you feel like a male today or a female today has nothing to do with whether you are actually female or actually male, because that truth is attached to your downstairs mix-up. You were made with a purpose. Your instruments were made with a purpose. There is a reason why male can fit in a female, and things happen, sperm, a miracle happens, and there's a baby. It was a design. It was designed that way. Now, some might be mad at Trump because of the notion that how you feel determines your gender, but not so. I can feel like a frog today, does not make me a frog. Me being a frog is determined by whether I bodily am a frog or not. Some say that this is cruel for Trump to do because there are trans and gay kids being bullied at school because they are trans and gay. Well, then teach the kids to be kind, even if the other kids are trans and gay. What are we, are we going to outlaw carrots because kids who bring celery for lunch are getting bullied and made fun of for not bringing carrots for lunch? That's not cool. I happen to like carrots and celery. They're actually pretty good for your eyes and immune system. Now look at this video.
Thank you, Kevin. A controversial court ruling tonight. A convicted criminal who served time at the women's prison in Chowchilla is charged with raping fellow inmates. A Madera County judge says Tremaine Carroll must be referred to with she, her pronouns. But the district attorney is pushing back because the 52-year-old Carroll is a biological male, and the decision could impact the pursuit of justice.
Yeah. Well, the reason why is because some of us are brainwashed into thinking it's okay for males to go into a public female washroom just as long as he feels like a female that day. The world is upside down, and we have people teaching this type of ideology. What's going on with the world today? Listening to this type of teaching. 2 Timothy 4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. Yeah, that's why we have males dominating in female sports, from swimming, volleyball, boxing, and MMA. That's brutal. Truth being upside down, kids being influenced by things like this. It's really scary to think how the world would be 50 years from now if these things continue to be allowed. Of course, we don't have 50 years. Anyways, this type of teaching is Babylonian teaching, sodomite teaching. God says in Revelation 18, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues," talking about Babylon. Babylon. "Come out of Babylon, my people," he says, "that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." But I would say, though, that although at the moment Trump seems like a champion for Christianity, turn the same token and we might see the flirting of a church and state unity movement. Still be on the lookout for Project 2025. The mark of the beast is still in the pipeline. We have now an AI counterfeit health message with, this Larry Ellis guy, whose position right now reminds me of a Fauci, to be honest with you. He's not, his actions and things like that is not like a Fauci, but his position right now is like a Fauci, to be honest. And, we have learned from Daniel 1 that after a counterfeit health message, there is a false worship that will commence. Remember, it says there in Daniel 1, the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of the eunuchs, or the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel and of the king's seed and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, it says, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. The learning, so they're going to teach them the learning and the tongue, the language of the Chaldeans. Think about that for a moment. And the king appointed them a daily provision, it says, of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king. So they think that eating the king's meat and the delicacies of the King Nebuchadnezzar, that they are able to stand. To stand means you are healthy. To stand means you are healthy. Okay? That's what essentially it means in a deeper sense. But what did Daniel say? Daniel said what? Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. It says, now God had brought Daniel into favor, tender love, with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord, that is the king Nebuchadnezzar, who hath appointed your meat and drink. For why should he see your faces, watch this, why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. The prince of the eunuchs said that they need to eat the Babylonian delicacies because if they didn't, they would look worse. In other words, in order for you to look healthy, you got to eat all these unhealthy, nasty things. That's a counterfeit health message. Now, what happens after the counterfeit health message? Daniel 3, everybody was called to worship falsely. Verses 4 through 6, and Herod cried aloud to you, it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king hath set up. And whoso falleth not down, in that same hour they will be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. We see today a very Fauci resemblance in Larry Ellison with a counterfeit health message. If the words of Scripture is written as ensamples for us and for our admonition what happens after a counterfeit health message. What happens after a counterfeit health message? False worship. We need to brace ourselves. We need to brace ourselves. Anyways, if you guys were blessed by this, please like and share. Special thanks to everybody who's been supporting this ministry. Special thanks to Eliana, Sharon, Anthony, Natasha, Kevin, McKean, Loudcry, Jennifer, Powell, Orlando, Chemical C, and Daniel. Thank you guys for the donations. If you guys want to support, you guys can do so by praying for this ministry and donating at www.sfp.center. The link is in the description box below. Once you guys get there, click on support and you guys can make a one-time, weekly, monthly, or yearly donation. We truly do appreciate it. Or you all can also join the SFP membership program that comes with perks. Click on the join button below to check out the perks. Guys, the support have been much appreciated. We receive many emails and messages from people who have been impacted by the content and documentaries that we have been publishing. These documentaries are quite expensive to produce, and it is all thanks to our supporters that we are able to do what we do. Remember, here at SFP, the advancement of the gospel and the word of truth are only made possible by the Lord and you. So if you want to help us reach more people out there with the gospel, please pray for this ministry. Join the SFP membership program down below, the join button down below, and donate at www.sfp.center. All the links are in the description box below. Thank you guys again. Praise God always. Peace. Avocado grease. I'm out.
Oh, come, oh,
A lot of people are buying into this ideology that when Jesus Christ comes back, that his feet are going to touch the ground and there's going to be a 1,000-year reign on earth.
When Satan is actually bound to this bottomless pit, it's translated, it's actually the Greek word abusos.
As long as we are abiding in the Lord and we are growing in sanctification, He gives us victory. He transforms us.
Jesus referred to the need to overcome 7 times.
There is nobody on planet Earth for that 1,000-year period.
The Bible is very clear. There's a period of time where there's no one alive on earth. Jeremiah chapter 4.
Until the Son of God appears.
The wicked dead are resurrected one more time so that they could receive their eternal punishment.
They're judged and then they're cast into the lake of fire.
The reason why the fire is eternal is because the fire is God.
God can give us victory over any temptation, over any sin, as we just keep our eyes on Him.
Only the saved can obey. If you're not saved, you cannot obey. Without Jesus in the heart, you cannot obey. And because only the saved can obey, only the obedient will be saved.